That note you carry in your pocket every single day hides a world you have never seen, a world locked behind walls where cameras are rarely allowed inside. Today, we are stepping inside Myanmar's secret money factory, where paper becomes currency and currency becomes power. Stay with us until the very end, because what you see in the final moments will change the way you look at money forever. What you are about to witness is a process so secretive that most people who use this currency every day will never know how it actually comes to life. This is where the journey of every single note begins. Raw paper being inspected sheet by sheet under warm golden light inside a massive storage hall. These are not ordinary workers standing here. Their eyes have been trained for years to catch a flaw thinner than a single strand of thread. Every sheet that enters this room must pass through their hands before it can even dream of becoming money one day. This is the foundation. This is the material that will one day carry the weight of an entire nation's economy inside its fibers. Look at how slowly and carefully every single sheet is checked. Nothing here is rushed. Nothing here is careless. Two trained eyes examine the same sheet from different angles just to be absolutely certain nothing has been missed. Now picture the scale of what you are looking at. Shelves stacked from floor to ceiling with paper waiting for its turn. A forklift moves silently between the aisles, carrying pallet after pallet toward the production floor. Somewhere inside this warehouse sits the raw beginning of currency, worth more money than most of us will ever count in a lifetime. Watch how carefully this paper is handled as it moves toward the machines. Every angle matters here. Every fold matters here. One wrong move at this stage and the entire batch could be rejected before it even begins its transformation into something valuable. Now, gloved hands guide the sheet into the rollers with an almost surgical precision. This is not simple factory work. This is closer to handling something fragile and priceless at the same time. Under bright focus lighting, another set of eyes studies the paper before it is allowed to move forward. This is not just a quality check. This is the very first layer of security that protects this currency from ever being copied. The sheet is aligned perfectly on the machine, while a worker in blue watches over a massive roll of paper unwinding behind him. This is not paper you would find in any regular shop. This is a special cotton-based currency paper engineered to survive years in circulation without tearing, fading, or breaking down. Now the sheets roll deeper and deeper into the machines, layer after layer smoothing out until the thickness becomes perfectly consistent across every single inch. Hands guide the material with total focus, knowing that even the smallest inconsistency could ruin everything that comes next. And this is where the real secret of this entire factory begins to unfold in front of your eyes. This machine is punching tiny invisible patterns into the paper. Patterns so small, your eyes will never notice them in daily life, but patterns that scanners, banks, and machines will instantly recognize the moment this note enters circulation. This is not one lonely machine working in isolation. This is an entire row of identical machines running side by side, producing millions of these sheets every single day without stopping. Look closely at the shapes being cut into this sheet right now. This is the mold for the hidden security thread that will one day sit invisibly inside every finished note. Its only purpose is to defeat forgery before it can even begin. Once the pattern is cut, the sheet is rolled again, so the design locks permanently into the fibers of the paper itself. An entire line of machines stretches across this hall, each one performing the exact same delicate task again and again. This does not feel like a simple workshop anymore. This feels like a hidden city built entirely around one single mission, making currency impossible to fake. And after every sheet leaves the machine, a human being checks it once more with their own eyes. No matter how advanced the technology becomes here, the final decision always belongs to a person standing at the end of the line. This process continues for hours without a single pause and without a single shortcut being taken. Because one mistake at this stage does not simply ruin a sheet of paper, it risks the trust that an entire nation places in its own currency. And just when you think you have finally seen the full scale of this operation, the camera pulls back to reveal something even larger than before. This was only the beginning of what this factory truly is. Sheet after sheet, the currency paper continues moving forward, being prepared for the most critical and closely guarded stage that lies just ahead. This is the scale they never wanted the outside world to witness. An enormous hall bathed in cold blue light, stretching further than the eye can follow, with machine after machine working in perfect silence. One single press of a button here, and the next hidden process quietly begins. This is where the real secret of the entire operation truly starts. This laser is not simply cutting metal. It is engraving the exact printing plate that will decide whether a finished note looks completely real or instantly fake. Every tiny square burned into this surface. Every microscopic line traced by the machine is later checked by human hands, because a difference smaller than a single millimeter could break the entire design forever. This intricate glowing pattern being burned into the plate right now is the decorative border you may have noticed running along the edge of every note you have ever held. It looks simple and elegant once finished, but creating it takes hours of relentless precision behind closed doors. Sparks fly as this metal die is carefully shaped under the laser. This is the mold that will eventually stamp out thousands upon thousands of identical notes. Once this single die is complete, it effectively becomes the mother of every note that will follow from this exact design. A worker studies the freshly cut metal, closely running practiced fingers along the edges to feel for any imperfection the eye alone might miss. Now we step into what might be the single most guarded room inside this entire building, a forensic laboratory built solely for currency itself. Every finished note that reaches this room passes beneath a microscope, where sensitive machines scan its texture, its ink, and its hidden pattern with a level of precision no human eye could ever hope to match. That glowing grid you see displayed on the monitor is the hidden microtext and security marking buried invisibly inside the note, something that can only ever be captured and verified through specialized laboratory equipment like this. Every digit and every tiny number is checked to ensure it sits in its exact intended place, because this precision is exactly what separates genuine currency from a dangerous counterfeit. These three specialists spend their entire working day doing nothing but this single task: quiet, focused, completely absorbed in their screens. Because one overlooked flaw in this room could mean fake currency eventually slipping quietly into the real world outside these walls. Now we return to the engraving stage for the final and most important plate of all, the one carrying both the serial number and the complete design that millions of finished notes will soon be printed from. And once again, everything is checked and rechecked, because inside this factory, the phrase "good enough" simply does not exist. A woman in a lab coat leans closer to her microscope, studying yet another note beneath the lens with the same unwavering focus as everyone else in this room. These tiny numbered patches being carefully cut right now are the security foil pieces that will eventually be placed onto the finished notes before they ever leave this building. Nothing happening in this room is random. Every single patch is tracked, numbered, and accounted for from the very first cut. And here, it finally is. The reason this entire long and complicated process exists in the first place. A finished note held gently between gloved fingers being examined one final time under careful light. Just minutes ago, this exact piece of currency was nothing more than a plain blank sheet of paper sitting quietly in a warehouse. Every layer, every hidden security mark, and every microscopic detail you have watched being created has now folded itself into this single small piece of paper resting in someone's hand. The next time you hold a note like this one, remember everything you just witnessed. It is not simply paper. It is months of relentless precision. It is the work of dozens of dedicated hands. And it is an entire hidden world that you were never truly meant to see. If this video showed you that making money is far harder and far more secretive than you ever imagined, then make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because there are many more hidden factories just like this one still waiting to be uncovered.